Hey everybody, welcome to Joko Outdoors. And today is going to be our first live, so we want to welcome y'all in. Just come on in, and when we get you in here, just let me know who you are, where you're viewing from.
Yep.
So, like I said, this is our first live, and we're hoping to have some questions to answer, but
We didn't have anybody
nobody answered.
put
Nobody
any
asked any.
questions up on last couple of videos that we posted and everything. So that's fine. We're just waiting for you guys to come on here. If you have any questions, post them up about any of the videos or maybe what we plan on doing in the future. We're going to talk a little bit about the upcoming hunting season. Right now, we're gonna post or we're going to be talking about turkey season because today's April 1st, and it was today was the
2 weeks. Yeah.
today was a youth opening day for
Yeah.
youth.
Yeah.
So
we're literally 2 weeks.
well,
2 weeks away.
Next Saturday is when adult season opens.
Well, 2 weeks away from us getting to hunt. Now, maybe you gonna think you'll get off next Saturday?
No,
No
I
way.
gotta work.
See, so I may have to go turkey blasting myself.
Yeah, it'll probably be about 3 weeks from now before I can go. We're going out of town next weekend, so
Yeah.
or no, not next weekend, but the weekend after we're going out of town, so I won't be able to go then. But I'm ready to get out there. I'm ready to get a turkey. I've never shot a turkey before in my life. Me and Pop went last year. We called in a gobbler, and I guess he saw the truck out on the field, even though we had it parked, 150 yards away, and walked back into the woods, and we tried to get a little closer to go get him. And a hen flew out of the trees that we didn't see her up there. And
nailed us.
Yeah, that was about it. So, but yeah, hopefully we'll be able to get one this year. We're going to try to get some recorded videos for you guys on that. That's what we really want to try to do, is get some recorded hunts, recorded deer hunts, some recorded turkey hunts, stuff like that. Get that stuff put on there for you guys and everything. So, if you're tuning in, feel free to ask those questions. We're here to answer
ask us anything.
Question. Yeah.
We're an open book.
Yeah.
We got nothing to hide. We've already confessed all of our sins to the Lord. So
yeah. Yeah, we have. And just recently we've launched our website, so you guys go check that out, jokooutdoors.com. And we've got some shirts on there. We're constantly adding new stuff on there. We've got cell phone cases, we've got coffee mugs. Actually had somebody purchase a coffee mug the other day.
Mm-hmm.
It was actually one of the guys that I work with, and it came in and he showed it to me. It turned out pretty good.
Wow, he got it already?
Yeah, he got it quick.
Now
he got it about 3 days after.
That's pretty awesome right there. Yeah, we were wondering how quickly they were going to turn that stuff for us.
So he ordered it on Monday and he received it yesterday. So it's Monday to Friday. He ordered it Monday and received his package by the end of the week, and that was standard shipping. So but it turned out really good. He ordered the barbecue mugs. We've got 2 mugs on there. We got one with our logo. We've got another one with a barbecue on there. We've got some. I just made some aprons the other day.
Yeah,
I'm gonna get some aprons for me and you when we do our barbecue videos. Yeah.
I had an idea from somebody that I'd ordered some stuff from Amazon, and they put their logo on everything. They put a logo on a hat, on the apron, gloves. It had everywhere to promote their thing. So, that's what we're trying to do, is get this channel rolling. We want to encourage everybody to, when we have these lives, to come on in and ask questions.
Yeah, absolutely.
And if there's a better time that we're maybe more available, you can put that in the comments as well.
Yeah,
we can make an adjustment maybe to see where most people are going to go. We picked Saturday because it seems like most people look at YouTube and look at our channel on Saturday. So we figured, what the hey, we'll give it a go.
So talking about the turkey season, I'm excited. I only got to go one time last year. This year, so we went like late May last year. That's when I actually had time to go. But this year, I'm going to get at least 2 hunts in April, and hopefully most of the Saturday hunts in May until the end of season. But I'm excited about these calls that we're using. We're using the Esh Custom calls. Last year, that gobbler that I called in with their True Hype. It's a raspy hen, old raspy hen sound, and man, it's my favorite call, my favorite mouth call. Anyways, it was awesome to get to see this turkey come in and everything. Wish I would have had a chance to shoot him, but you know what? We're gonna try to do that this year.
Yeah.
We're gonna use that. I'm definitely gonna use that call again. We've got some pot calls and some box calls and everything. You guys can go check out the videos on those. They're on our channel. Go check them out. But they're really good calls, and I mean they did their job. They called the turkeys in last year. We just weren't able to get close enough to get one, unfortunately.
Yeah. And we'll be sporting our new view. Camo, because that stuff is awesome.
Oh yeah.
And my only concern is how's it going to be in mosquito weather?
Yeah, it might be a little warm, but
I'm thinking them because they're insulated. I mean, they keep you warm when you're cold.
Yeah,
but that's what I'm concerned about is if it's how these heavier pants hold up to the heat in North Carolina.
Yeah.
I'm wondering about that. That's one of them ones that I'm like, yeah.
Well, the thing up here in North Carolina, even during the spring, like in April and May, the morning times, I mean, we get out there and sit down at 6 o'clock in the morning, and it's still pretty chilly. It's still in the 50s, in April and May in the morning time. And then about 9, maybe 10 o'clock, it's like 75 degrees. So it goes from 50 to 75 in just a couple of hours. Or
you have days like yesterday where it never got lower than 66 degrees.
Right. Yep.
And it stayed 66 degrees for almost 18 hours.
Yeah.
So that's North Carolina weather for you. The old adage is if you don't like the weather, wait around a little while, it'll change to fit you.
Yeah. Yeah. and so I mean, we're gonna sport that off. It's been really good camo. I mean, it's literally my new favorite camo. I love that stuff. It's very quiet. When I edited the video for it, it took me by surprise how quiet that suit was. I mean, I didn't have to edit any of the sound out for that. And Ken's sitting there doing this.
Yeah, I mean, I'm moving my arms
and
stuff.
And his mic was like right here, And so
I mean, it's amazing. It's amazing because I have been busted more times than I even care to mention because I moved and my sleeve rubbed against the side of me. It made a noise, and the does have like a supersonic ears to be able to hear your clothing scrubbing against it. So
So we're excited about turkey season, but it's also barbecue season,
right?
So you guys, expect some barbecue videos coming up. We've put a few up already.
We haven't got started rolling into the full-fledged season of heat.
Yeah.
And some new things we got coming out soon is I don't know if you guys have been waiting for it. I know there are some people who have been waiting for it. Is our spice line.
Yeah.
And I got some Tabasco sauce that's going to be coming out real soon.
Yeah, you'll find those on our website
So that's one of the beautiful things about Tabasco is I can make this out of season because it takes about a year to fully ferment to get to the taste that I want it to be.
Right.
So I ferment my peppers for about 11 months, and then I'll take them and do my sauce out of them, and it makes it a much milder flavor from what the other sauces are out. And I've got a barbecue sauce that I'm going to put together, and we're going to tweak that because I think I got it down, but I'm going to let Brian try it and see.
Yeah.
See what's going on.
Yeah, we got some beef seasoning too, brisket, beef, whatever you want to call it. We got some beef seasoning. I've been working on a formula for that. That's what we use on our beef and brisket.
Yeah.
I think it's turned out pretty good.
And the Joko butt rub.
Yeah.
The one, the heat, the sweet heat. That one is that one's ready to roll.
Yeah. We've got some more coming up. We've got some ideas, some recipes we're putting together. We're still trying to come up with some names, but some of the names that we've come up with, I'm not going to give them away yet. But they're pretty good. They're pretty funny. They're pretty interesting. So, I mean, we're going to get some of those put together for you. As soon as we get them together, we'll get some labels put on there. We'll introduce them. You'll see them on our website. We're also going to get some hats sometime soon with the Joco Outdoors logo on there. So, we'll get some of that stuff. But barbecue, man, I'm ready to get out there. I've got a brisket I got to smoke tonight for church. Might do a video on that. I don't know yet. I don't want to do the same brisket video over again. I do have some brisket ideas. So we are going to do a video, a brisket video. It's going to be, how fast will the brisket cook at 300 degrees? And you say 300 degrees, that's mighty high. Yes, but I'm going to take it from Myron Mixon. Okay. Myron Mixon. If any of you have ever watched, is it Pitmasters?
Yeah, Pitmasters. Yeah.
If you've ever watched Barbecue Pitmasters, you see Myron Mixon on there, the winningest man in barbecue. And he said one time he was in a brisket competition. He said that he cooks all of his brisket at 300 degrees because in a competition, you don't have 18, 20 hours.
Yeah, you got to get it done.
Yeah, to cook a brisket and everything. So he cooks them at 300 degrees and it takes about 7 hours. So we're going to put that to the test. We're going to smoke a brisket at 300 degrees. We're going to see how long it takes. Is it 7 hours? Is it longer than that? Is it less than that? Does it turn out just as tender? Is it just as juicy? Can you still do the pull test on it? Can you still do the bounce test on it? We're going to do the full 10 yards on that. So that's one video that we do have coming out. We're going to come out with another rib video as well.
Yeah. So I just to let you know, right now I've got 3 sets of baby back ribs and 2 sets of beef ribs in the cooler, chillaxing until we can, doing the resting. I was going to shoot the video, but I was like, you know what? I had about 9,000 things going on this morning, and there was no way I was going to get a camera out there and try and do it. Not to mention a torrential monsoon dropped in us out of nowhere.
Oh yeah.
So
it was crazy.
I can't even imagine that. So
wind is like 30-mile-an-hour wind right now up here.
But I've moved my smoker into my barn.
Mm-hmm.
So we're setting up an outdoor kitchen out there. It's kind of, hish hash right now. So when we get it all set up, I'm going to take you on a tour of my new outdoor kitchen and show you what all we got going on. And this year I'm going to actually put out some gardening videos too, because it is still outdoors.
Yep.
And I think there's some things that I can share with some people to help grow things. Me and my wife used to have we still have the channel, but we don't put anything up anymore. Just because we got, I'm doing this and, between school and work and trying to keep you guys informed of what's going on, it consumes a lot of time.
Yeah.
It really does. And not to be a detractor, but, that's one thing that I have to keep in mind is that we only have so much time to spend, but we need to use that time to keep our people informed.
Right. Yeah.
So that's one of the things that we are going to try to do a little bit better is get our videos out a little bit sooner.
Yeah. And I think we're going to switch the days from Mondays to Saturdays because it seems like more people are watching our videos on Saturdays. So,
that's what I'm thinking.
If that's when you're watching them, that's when we want to put them out for you guys. So I think we're going to try to start putting them out on Saturdays. That's why I did last Saturday. And we had a pretty good bit of viewers watch them.
Well, another thing is, I graduate on May 12th. And once that's done, a whole new time budget is going to be available. So what I'm also going to be doing is bringing you some woodworking stuff that I do, because I do a lot of woodworking. I do all kind of stuff.
So talking about woodworking, he was talking about moving his grill out into his barn. You guys have watched our barbecue videos, and you know that my grill is on my front porch, open, nothing around it. So we're actually going to build an enclosure for it to on a windy day like today, where it'll help prevent that wind from getting in there and bringing the temperature down. On a rainy day, I can still smoke some meat and everything, And so when we do that, we'll record that. We'll make a video of that too, just so you guys can see what we're doing, and maybe it'll work for you if you've got an
open porch out there. Yeah, I mean, it's something that I think is going to work, because that's one thing about the Commodore Expert grill is it holds temperature as long as there's no wind.
Right.
And I'm not talking about like a little wind. I'm talking when the wind starts really blowing, it cools that box off. And that's one of the things that I'm going to look into is, we've got that grill probably maxed out on what it can do. So I'm going to do some upgrades to it. I'm going to take and I'm going to put a seal around all that door, because the door is, there's vents in the back. They're supposed to be where it lets the smoke out, so that the smoke comes up and it sent through the meat and then goes out the back. But a lot of that smoke comes out the door. And if I can seal that door with some high temperature sealant, almost like a seal, I'm wondering if we can keep more smoke in that box and get it even more smoke taste. Just little things like that. This is one thing that you need to understand about me. I am a tweaker. I can't be satisfied with anything that is just working fine. I have to try and make it better. I always got to try and do something to make something better, because I truly believe that that's the nature of invention, is how we get to a point where we're really pushing to find new ways to do things. And one of the things that we really are looking forward to, and this is one thing I've been looking forward to, because last year my pond was in a state of, it was bad. It was in a bad state. Not that anything was going on. It just, I stepped out too long on the algae, and it took over. And then I had this nasty stuff called duckweed that just mysteriously appeared in the pond. Yeah. So I had to eradicate that. So I've got all that knocked out. I've done 2 treatments on it. So the algae, it looks like it didn't do anything, but I know it has done stuff, because it's not growing anymore. It's not moving out any further, and it's not floating. So that's one thing that I want to bring out to you is how to treat a pond.
Yeah, that'd be good.
What do you do to keep the vegetation at bay? Because one thing about my pond is we've got this stuff called alligator weed, and it is prolific. It will spread. When I first moved to this house, there was just a little section of it, and it's almost all the way around the pond now. Yeah. It's spread. So if you guys got any ideas on how to regulate that, I've done everything as far as, I think what I'm going to use next is what you spray on kudzu to get it killed. But I got to be careful, because anything you spray in the water, you have the potential for infecting your fish.
Yeah. And so another couple more things we're going to do. We're outside of deer season. We do barbecue. We get ready for turkey season. And then, right after turkey season's over with, we're full on preparation for deer season again. So as soon as turkey season's over with, maybe even during, turkey season on a cool afternoon or something like that, we're going to get out there. We're going to put some food plots out. We've got an idea or a couple ideas where we want to put some food plots at. We've been looking at the trail cameras, the alpha cams that we have. Look, they're my favorite cameras. You guys can go watch the videos and tell us what you think about them. We still have one more video to do, compare all 4 of them.
Yeah. And then I promised you guys I was going to do it. I've just been compiling. I've got a ton of video and pictures from those little miniature cameras that we did, and you guys have been asking about that. So I've been compiling it, trying to figure out what stuff do I want to put in here to show this, because there's a lot of good stuff, and I don't want to make a video that's 900 hours long, because we have about that much footage from them cameras.
Oh yeah,
but
it's got a lot.
I think what I'm going to start doing is I'm going to making some of those little shorts, where you just put together a few, little 60-second thing of all the pictures coming from those cameras. And we may make that a regular thing where we do that from all the cameras, showing you what's going on. Because when I first looked at this season, I was worried about the turkeys, because when I first seen it, I was like, man, this is not good, because normally we have turkeys moving in a very specific spot. They've been very, very easy to figure out where they're going to be moving. They would be this spot at 9. They'd be at this spot at 9 o'clock. They'd be this where at 10, at 11, and then in the evening they'd be here right here at 3 o'clock, 5 o'clock, so on and so forth. Well, they changed. So over where I moved my big feeder, and the turkeys were tearing it up during the early season and deer season, and then they actually continued to carry that area, and then all of a sudden, no turkeys. So
yeah, no wild turkeys, anyways.
I'm telling you, it was crazy. So I pulled the camera last week and I looked at it, and there was one little Tom with a little bitty beard on it just coming through, and he was the only one there. He would come, he'd scratch around a little bit, and he would walk off.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And those cameras, that particular camera's got a real good microphone on it, so you can hear the turkeys chirping each other. I didn't hear a peep, not a one. Not normally if it's a younger Jake, and we know that there's some bigger Toms around, they're normally looking around trying to see if anybody's coming.
Yeah.
That's one thing about a turkey. They're dumb as rocks, but they have eyesight that is laser sharp. So you don't want to make movements in the woods because they will see you.
Yeah.
They're dumb. So if you did a move and then they run off, the next day they're going to come right back, and you could probably do the same move and they would think it was somebody else. So that's one thing about turkeys is they're really dumb, but they are very, very, very hard to sneak up to. And I'll tell you a little story about my first experience with turkey hunting. So I really didn't know what I was doing. I watched a couple of guys on a sportsman's channel, because when that happened, there was no YouTube. There was no thing. So all the hunting shows were on TV, and you watch these guys on TV, and they got to cram something, an entire hunt into 30-minute show. So they don't show all the details. But so I'm watching these guys, and they're sitting down on the edge of the field, and these turkeys just coming in. So I thought, well, if it's that easy, geez, it's like shooting fish in a barrel.
Right.
This ought to be a cakewalk. So I get out early in the morning. I'm in the woods about 4 o'clock in the morning, which is way too early because the turkeys were still, way asleep. But I set up at a spot that I knew the turkeys had been moving through. Figured I'm just going to camp out here. I'm going to set up my stuff and I'll be ready to roll. And the sun comes up, and way off, probably 500, 600 yards away, I hear, I'm like, okay, well, that's no good. So I did a real quick box chirp, 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 chirp. And okay, all right. But he never moved. So I'm like, okay, well, all the shows show if the Tom's not going to move, you got to go to them. So I gathered up all my stuff, and I'm walking on a logging road, kind of sneaking around the edge of the woods, trying to get down to where I knew relatively where the sound was coming from. And I'm walking, and all of a sudden I hear, beep, 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 beep. I'm like, oh, I didn't know what it was. I knew what it was, but I didn't know what that was about. There was 2 hens right inside the woods. Well, there was a hen and a turkey, a Tom, right there, literally where they were coming right to me. So I, my impatience of getting up and going to trying to find this guy, that Tom didn't make a sound. He didn't gobble. That hen didn't cluck. Nothing. I mean, they didn't make a sound. So I didn't even look at him. I just caught him out of the corner of my eye. I just kept walking. I'm like, okay, nothing to see here. Go on about your business. Well, so I get down to where I pretty much know where this Tom is sitting at. He's up in a tree. Because as I was walking, I stopped and I hit box chip, 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 just a couple times, and he ain't moved not a step. So I'm like, okay. So I get down into the next spot where I wanted to set up. And I get set up there, sit down by my tree, get myself all set up, set my decoys out. And I'm looking kind of this direction over here where the Tom is. And I hear him fly down. I'm like, all right, cool. So one thing about turkey hunting is you don't want to be over calling, because, even though when you listen to turkeys in the woods, they're all the time talking to each other, but you don't want to overcall. So when he flew down, I picked the box up again. Chirp, 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 and that was it. And I put it down. And I didn't touch it again. So 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes passed. And I hear something in the brush over here. It's probably about another 100 yards away. And I figure he's coming through the brush. And then all of a sudden, out of the corner of my eye, I catch this full strut tom coming from kind of my left-hand side from behind me, the one that I'd passed earlier. So that's what I was talking about. You can, they're dumb. They got great eyesight, but they're dumb as rocks because that turkey saw me walking that way, and he was responding to my call. The one that I thought was coming wasn't. This guy, he didn't make a sound. And it was the first time I'd ever seen a turkey in live. It reminded me of the Thanksgiving Day balloons, because that's what he looked like. He was kind of floating around as he's walking up, and he walked over by one of my decoys, and he kind of looked at it, and he went on, kind of moved all around. So I had to do the quick shuffle to get myself lined up, and I don't know what happened. To this day, I still do not know what happened. I've got him 10, maybe 15 yards away. Put the bead right on him and boom. And, the recoil, you recover, and all I saw was a turkey that he kind of hit the ground, and then he took up and ran off into the bushes. So I'm like, well, I know deer do that when you shoot them. They sometimes they'll fall down and then they'll get up and run into the woods and they'll die somewhere. So I collected all my crap up and I'm going running after this turkey, trying to figure out where he went. I went back. There was not one single feather on the ground, no blood, nothing. I don't know what the heck I did. The only thing I can figure is I must have jerked the trigger and shot over the top of his head, which is why he was ducking down, trying to get out of the way. So that was my first experience with turkey hunting. And I've had many moons have passed since that day, and I've become more attuned to where the turkeys are. And one thing I have noticed, and that's how I learned all this stuff on the fly. Nobody taught me how to turkey hunt. My dad didn't really turkey hunt. He wasn't a turkey hunter. So I learned everything on my own through trial and error. Okay, do this. Okay, that's where I found out about calling too much. Because I've had a tom, clucked at him a couple times, and I could hear him coming, and then I picked the box up. I figured, okay, I'm going to keep on yapping. Maybe he'll keep coming. And he turned around and walked the other direction and disappeared out into somewhere. I never heard a peep from him after that. So overcalling will push the turkeys away from you. They won't bring them into you. Knowing the right kind of calls to make.
Yeah.
Because turkeys make different sounds. If you've ever listened to them, and that's one thing I try to do when I'm in the deer stand is listen to how they're communicating to each other. Because they'll come right in where, if you got a corn pile there, they're going to come. And I sat there, I put a video up. I think, I don't know if I posted that video about that I recorded from the stand of the turkeys just
I don't know.
all coming out. I don't remember if I posted that or not. I might have to go find that one.
It'd be a good 60-second.
Yeah, show you how that was also, because it literally, you could see how they come in. They don't come in a pack. They come in, two will be 2 or 3 over here. There'll be 2 more over here. There'll be another one way out in the back, and there'll be 2 more. They're just kind of scattered around. It's like they are scouting out the area before they come rolling in, because they don't want to be out there pecking on corn and a coyote come out from nowhere and snack them. So I say they're dumb animals as far as that, but they are very tactical in coming in where they're at.
Mm-hmm.
Which, so I recorded them coming in and doing their thing, and listening to them make their calls, to talk to each other, and it gives you a good idea of how those sounds are supposed to come out. Because if you never listen to a turkey moving around and you never listen to them talking, you're really kind of going off of, once again, trial and error of how you repeat that sound. And when do you do this sound? When do you go? Burr, burr, burr? I have only heard a hen ever do that one time. And I've seen tons of turkeys. Only heard it do it one time. Normally it's purring and then a quick pip, 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 pip. That's the majority of the time. That's how they're communicating to each other. So they got a put, they got the purr that tells them, okay, there's food over here, and I don't see any danger right now. So keep your eyes up and come on in and eat. And then you've got your Yelp, which is how they respond to each other. So I've heard them yelp, like the one that I was talking about way back in the back. You'll hear that one yelp, and then a couple of other ones will respond, with the puts. Okay, letting them know, okay, it's still good to go. Come on in. I know you're late to the party, but come on in. We're gonna, and it's so interesting to listen to how they communicate to each other. Just birds in general. That's one of the beautiful things that I love. One of the things I love more about deer season is not just necessarily seeing deer out there, but when you're sitting in the stand and it's dark, and it's cold, and there's nothing out there, and you're sitting there just kind of trying to stay awake because in the quiet of that time, if you hadn't got a good night's sleep, you drift off into
you start drifting off.
And then all of a sudden the sun starts coming up and the woods come alive.
Oh yeah.
All the birds start chirping and talking to each other. And so when you're sitting there, when you first get in the stand, all you hear is crickets. And if you're close enough to where there's a water source, you may hear some frogs, but that's it, and unfortunately, that's one of the sounds that puts me to sleep. That's how I go to sleep every night, which is crickets and frogs, so that's one. I don't know if you guys, I don't know if I've ever shared this with you, but I've got tinnitus in both my ears. And if I don't have some kind of a sound going on when I sleep, all I hear is ringing. So I have to use that. So I figured, what is the most soothing sound? Well, here I'm in a deer stand trying to stay awake, and I've got this most soothing sound happening all around me. I'm nodding off. So I'm usually texting Brian, hey man, I'm getting tired. And in the woods, it just comes alive. Everything starts moving around. The birds start flying around. You see the little critters, come on in. The squirrels start coming down, and it's just amazing to watch God's kingdom just come into full array.
Yeah, so we'll start preparing for deer season. This month, next month, get the food plot set up. Probably we've got a couple of locations that we're going to move some stands to and put some stands up at that we have looked at this past season and said, well, maybe we need to move this stand over there, and just based on activity and everything. They did a big clear cut behind our property, and it did and it didn't affect the activity over there. I mean, we still have deer coming over there, but I think they're kind of using a different route now.
We haven't been able to pattern them again because they have completely changed their travel patterns.
Yeah. So based off of activity that we've gotten on the cameras and everything, we've got some new locations we're going to move the stands over to and put some stands up at and everything. We're gonna, how we are. We're mock scrape hunters. We love hunting over scrapes. It's been successful for me. We got this raw frozen scent. I think it did a great job last year.
I'm absolutely blown away. Absolutely blown away. I mean, I can't say enough about it. Of how good the scent worked.
Yeah, it worked really good, and it's very potent, very potent. But we're gonna keep using that stuff. We're gonna just keep doing what we're doing. Hopefully, this upcoming year, this upcoming season, we'll have some hunting videos. Ken and I have been talking about that, and we're gonna start out recording each other. That's what we're gonna start out doing. It's gonna be a little bit easier for us to do that. We
just gotta, because how you do that, we got to figure out the dynamics of how do you put two people in the same area relatively, one guy shooting and the other guy hunting, and not disturb the situation.
Right.
Because we're not professional videographers. I'm not. He's not. We don't do this for a living. I've never taken near one class in video editing or any videography.
Neither have I.
So we don't know how that's all going to come to play.
But we'll figure it out during the off season. I know we've been telling you guys for a couple of years we were going to try to do this. We're really trying to bog down on it now and everything. So hopefully you'll see some turkey videos coming out, during turkey season. I know we're going to try to shoot some of those.
Yeah.
And everything.
And what I want to do is I want to film the hunts that aren't successful.
Yeah.
To see,
Well, we got to be real
because
about everything.
we learn from those. So if you only record the successes, you never learn from the mistakes.
Right.
So I want to record. I want to try to figure out how I can record an entire 2-hour hunt. And put together maybe more shots than just the one coming from where the hunting's position is. Have a couple of cameras set around so you can see what's happening all around you, because that's how you learn. That's what we use trail cameras during deer season. But why don't we use them during turkey season?
Well, let's do that. Let's
we're
put them,
going to.
let's put them on video mode. And
we'll get them moving around.
Yeah,
and
the areas that we're going to be turkey hunting.
Turkey season will slide the time, so it'll record for a much longer period of time.
Yeah.
Or even do it on time lapse where we're only shooting it during this 2-hour period of the day when we know the turkeys are coming in.
Right.
This is just a couple of suggestions that some people have given us to help us, get this thing tuned in. And then I'm also going to be sporting a new red dot on my shotgun this year. So that's one thing that I hadn't divulged yet. Brian don't even know about it yet.
Yeah, it's new to me. So
it's one thing that I've been, since I missed that turkey way back, 6 years, about 6 or 7 years ago, since I missed that turkey, I've been thinking about putting a red dot on my shotgun. But here again, you're only as good as your equipment.
Yeah.
If you can't shoot, it don't matter whether you have the best whiz bang gun with the giant scope and thermo optic, whatever it is. If you can't shoot straight, you can't hit anything.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the first thing, is the fundamentals of shooting. And I know you've seen us work with my grandsons, his sons, on shooting etiquette and how to properly, aim and all those things. This is part of growing up in the South, I think. I don't know if they do it up in the North. I really don't know. I've never been up there.
Yeah.
I don't know anybody from the North that would tell me that. I know we have some viewers that I know we got a couple of our regular guys live up in Canada. So I'd be interested to know how they, what they do for training their kids to hunt and stuff. And then back with the pond, so it's ready to fish. I mean, Beth, my wife, she went out there the other day. She was walking down. She was doing some weed eating, and she saw some catfish.
She got a good.
And she caught it. I mean, she went in the house, grabbed some old bacon that had been in there, put it on a hook, and threw it out there. And about 10 minutes later, she got a catfish. So yes,
who don't like bacon? Even the fish like bacon.
Yeah. So I have catfish, I have largemouth bass, I have brim, in great quantities in that pond. So it's a half an acre pond. I don't know if we even showed them the pond yet. I don't know if we've done.
We've tried to get
last year was the worst fishing season ever. That's the first year I can honestly say I did not catch a single fish.
We fished every weekend during the spring, summer, and most of the fall, and didn't catch anything.
I mean, I can catch brim all day long with a fly rod, but even there, I was having trouble getting them to hit the flies. I don't know what happened. So my dad made a great suggestion, and I took him up on it, and he told me that we needed to aerate the pond, because adding more oxygen to the water helps the fish feed more efficiently, breathe better, and they grow. So I put it to the test. So I got me an aerator, put it out in the pond, and it's been out there for a full year. Plus, I've been doing treatments more regularly, doing one every 3 months during the growing season when the things are happening. In fact, I just did one the other day, and I'm playing with my copper sulfate levels with my glufosinate to figure out, you don't want to do too much, but you got to do enough where it'll actually help. Otherwise you're just out there spraying blue stuff into the water.
Yeah.
But I'm looking forward to doing some fishing, not just in my pond, but us going out and finding just these little remote places and doing some fishing.
We've got some spots I've been scouting out every time I drive somewhere that I think we're going to try out this year, and try to get some.
So yes, it's grilling season. It's also fishing season.
Yeah.
You know,
So we're going to, needless to say, we're going to try to get some more videos out there of us, you know, hunting and fishing and grilling. And, you know, we're going to try to get more of that stuff out there for you guys. You know, we want to try to keep giving you great content, quality content. You know, we thank each and every one of y'all for watching and tuning in to us, and just, you know, sharing the videos that you have, and you know, liking them and leaving the comments. And, you know,
we love your comments, by the way. I
mean,
love, you know, we've had some negative ones.
Yeah.
We've had some good ones. I
I
want all of them.
And,
I like the negative comments because now I have an opportunity to help somebody.
Yeah. And you know, we try to respond to them as quickly as possible too. So, you know,
I would venture to say we respond back faster than anybody else does.
We're pretty quick.
I like to get on it. You know, now my buddy up in Pennsylvania, the hunting farmer, he is also very quick to respond to comments. You know, so
yeah,
some of our friends, YouTube friends, are really fast at responding to these things. So that's one thing that we always strive to do, is to try to get information back to you as soon as possible. And as Brian said on the last video, if you ask us a question and we don't know the answer, that's why we may have responded, because I'm looking to try to find the answer so I can give you an accurate answer. I'm not going to tell you I'm not going to blow a bunch of smoke at you, you know, because that's not fair. You know, that's not fair to you, and it's not fair to this channel. You know, so we want to be honest, we want to be open, and we want to always point our eyes toward the Lord.
That's right.
And everything.
Yep.
No matter what it is. You know, so one thing that I've made a commitment to this year, and I know it's going to sound kind of silly to people who follow Christianity, but I'm making a focus right now to quit letting the devil have control of my life. You know, quit worrying about what Satan's going to do, and just do what God has asked me to do. You know, just take opportunities, you know, to talk to somebody about the Lord. You know, where the devil's telling you, oh, there's goes people are going to laugh at you, they're going to reject you, they're not going to do anything. Well, so you worry about all these things, these negative things that could happen, and don't even look at the positive thing that could happen, which was leading somebody to Christ.
Yeah. You
know, the greatest thing ever is when, you know, even the angels in heaven rejoice when somebody finds their, you know, get saved.
Absolutely.
And that should be all Christians' ultimate goal, is to share the gospel with as many people as you can find.
Yep. We should be on fire for that.
Yeah.
That's what
I mean, you know, and
John Rice said,
you know,
that.
I'm starting to really be very bold with everybody. You know, it doesn't matter where I'm at. I'll talk to somebody, you know, I'll invite them to church, ask them if we can pray for them, share a little bit about what's been going on in our lives. And I think it's been positive. I've had very positive responses from it.
Yeah.
And on Tuesday, I'm going to drop something on my students that I'm hoping that it'll be well received. And you know, we'll just see. I'll have to get back to you on that one after I do it, to make sure it, you know, to let you know what happened.
Well, we're gonna go ahead and wrap this thing up.
Yeah.
Thank you for watching. Thank you for your comments and your questions. You know, thanks for just tolerating us and our long-winded selves. So keep looking forward to the videos to come. We've told you, you know, some things that we're planning on doing. So keep an eye out for those videos. We thank you guys. We love you guys. And y'all remember, this is God's country.
Love y'all guys. We'll see you on the next one.
See ya.